Aurobindo Savitri, page 488. For man thou seekest not for thyself alone, only if God assumes the human mind and puts on mortal ignorance for his cloak, and makes himself the dwarf with triple stride, can he help man to grow into the God? As man disguised the cosmic greatness works, and finds the mystic inaccessible gate, and opens the immortal's golden door, man, human, follows in God's human steps. Accepting his darkness, thou must bring to him light. Accepting his sorrow, thou must bring to him bliss. In matter's body, find thy heaven-born soul. Then Savitri surged out of her body's wall and stood a little span outside herself and looked into her subtle being's depths, and in its heart, as in a lotus bud, divined her secret and mysterious soul. At the dim portal of the inner life that bars out from our depths the body's mind and all that lives but by the body's breath, she knocked and pressed against the ebony gate. Sri Aurobindo Savitri, page 522. Onward she passed, seeking the soul's mystic cave. At first she stepped into a night of God. The light was quenched that helps the laboring world. The power that struggles and stumbles in our life. This inefficient mind gave up its thoughts, the striving heart, its unavailing hopes. All knowledge failed, and the ideas forms, and wisdom screamed in awe her lovely head, feeling a truth too great for thought or speech. Formless, ineffable, forever the same. An innocent and holy ignorance, adored like one who worships formless God, the unseen light she could not claim nor own. In a simple purity of emptiness, her mind knelt down before the unknowable. All was abolished save her naked self and the prostrate yearning of her surrendered heart. There was no strength in her, no pride of force. The lofty burning of desire had sunk, ashamed, a vanity of separate self, the hope of a spiritual greatness fled. Salvation she asked not, nor a heavenly crown. Humility seemed now too proud a state. Mantras of our Lord Sri Aurobindo. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says the Divine Mother's presence is always there. If you decide to act on your own idea, your own notion of things, your own will and demand upon things, then it is quite likely that her presence will get veiled. It is not she who withdraws from you, but you who draw back from her. With our love and blessings, says our Lord Sri Aurobindo. Words of our Divine Mother taken from the All India Magazine of September 2012. Topic: Did you know this? Our Divine Mother says, did you know this? That the more you give yourself, the more you have the experience. It is not just a feeling or impression or sensation. It is a total experience. That the more you give yourself to the Divine, the more He is with you, totally, constantly, at every minute. In all your thoughts, all your needs, and that there is no aspiration which does not receive an immediate answer. And you have the sense of a complete, constant intimacy of a total nearness. Our Divine Mother says, it is as though you carried, as though the Divine were all the time with you. You walk, He walks with you. You sleep, He sleeps with you. You eat, He eats with you. You think, and He thinks with you. You love, and He is the love you have. But for this, one must give himself entirely, totally, exclusively. Reserve nothing, keep nothing for himself, not keep back anything, not disperse anything also. The least little thing in your being, which is not given to the Divine, is a waste. It is a waste of your joy, something that lessens your happiness by that much. And all that you didn't give to the Divine is as though you were holding it in the way of the possibility of the Divine's giving Himself to you. You don't feel Him close to yourself, constantly with you, because you don't belong to Him. Because you belong to hundreds of other things and people in your thought, in your action, in your feelings, impulses. There are millions of things which do not give Him. There are millions of things which you do not give Him, and that is why you don't feel Him always with you, because all these things are so many screens and walls between Him and you. But if you give Him everything, if if you keep back nothing, He will be constantly and totally with you in all you do, in all that you think, all that you feel, always, at each moment, says our Divine Mother. Words of our Lord Sri Aurobindo, taken from the collective works of our Lord Sri Aurobindo, SABCL, Volume 25, page 6. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says the personal effort required is an aspiration, vigilant, constant, unceasing, the mind's will, the heart's seeking, the ascent of the vital being, the will to open and make plastic the physical consciousness and nature. Aspiration, says our Lord, is the call of the being for higher things, for the divine, for all that belongs to the higher or the divine consciousness. Aspiration should be not a form of desire, but the feeling of the inner soul's need and quiet, settled will to turn towards the divine and seek the divine. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says pulling usually comes from desires to get things for oneself. In aspiration, there is a self-giving for the higher consciousness to descend and take possession. The more intense the call, the greater the self-giving. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says the spiritual aspiration is innate in man, for he is, unlike the animal, aware of imperfection, limitation, and feels that there's something to be attained beyond what now is. Up till this advent of a developed thinking mind in matter, evolution has been effected not by the self-aware aspiration, intention, will, or seeking of the living being, but subconsciously or subliminally by the automatic operation of nature. Man has seen that there can be a higher state of consciousness than his own. The evolutionary ostrich is there in his parts of mind and life. The aspiration to exceed himself is delivered and articulate within him. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says the process of integral yoga is a turning of the human soul from the egoistic state of consciousness absorbed in the outward appearances and attractions of things to a higher state in which the transcendent and universal can pour itself into the individual mold and transform it. The first determining element of the Siddhi is therefore the intensity of the turning, the force which directs the soul inward, the power of aspiration of the heart, the force of the will, the concentration of the mind, the perseverance and determination of the applied energy are the measure of that intensity. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, the acceptance of a new spiritual idea force and upward orientation in the being, an illumination, a turning or conversion seized on by the will and the heart's aspiration. This is the momentous act which contains as in a seed all the results that the yoga has to give.
Partout et toujours, rien que toi, dans l'essence et dans la manifestation. Love everywhere and always nothing but love in the essence and in the manifestation.
Aurobindo continues to say, the aspiration of the psychic being is for the opening of the whole nature, mind, body, vital to the divine, for the love and union with the divine, for its presence and power within the heart, for the transformation of the mind, life, and body by the descent of the higher consciousness into this instrumental being and nature. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, demand or desire comes from the mind or the vital, but a psychic or a spiritual need is a different thing. The psychic does not demand or desire, it aspires. It does not make conditions for its surrender or withdraw if its aspiration is not immediately satisfied. For the psychic has complete trust in the divine or in the Guru and can wait for the right time or the hour of the divine grace. The psychic has an insistence of its own, but it puts its pressure not on the divine but on the nature, placing a finger of light on all the defects there that stand in the way of realization, shifting out all that is mixed, ignorant, or imperfect in the experience or in the moments of the yoga, and never satisfied with itself or with nature till it has got it perfectly open to the divine, free from all the forms of ego, surrendered, simple and right in the attitude and all the moments. This is what has to be established entirely in the physical consciousness, in the mind and the vital. Our Divine Mother says, an aspiration which is not mixed with any interested and egoistic calculation beyond words, about thoughts, the flame of an intense aspiration must always burn steady and bright. Our only aspiration must be for spiritual progress. It is only for that we must pray. Our Divine Mother says, if you are in a state of conscious aspiration, very sincere, well, everything around you will be arranged in order to help you in your aspiration, whether directly or indirectly. That is either to make you progress, put you in touch with something new, or to eliminate from your nature something that has to disappear. This is something quite remarkable. If you are truly in a state of intensity of aspiration, then there is not a circumstance which does not come to help you to realize this aspiration. Everything comes, everything, as though there was a perfect and absolute consciousness organizing around you all the things for you. Our Divine Mother says, if you say to the Divine with conviction, I want only you, if you say to the Divine with conviction, I want only you, the Divine will arrange all the circumstances in such a way as to compel you to be sincere. But something in the being says, I want only you, the aspiration, and then one wants 100 odd things all the time. Isn't that so? At times, something comes just usually to disturb everything, and it stands in the way and prevents you from realizing your aspiration. Our Divine Mother says, well, the Divine will come without showing Himself, without you seeing Him, without you having any inkling of it. and He will arrange all the circumstances in such a way that everything that prevents you from belonging solely to the divine will be removed from your path inevitably. Then all is removed. Then, when all is removed, you begin to howl and complain. And later, if you're sincere, you look at yourself straight in the eye. You said to the Lord, "You have said, I want only you." He will remain close to you. All the rest will go away. This is indeed a higher grace. Only you must say this with conviction. I don't even mean that you may say it integrally, because if one says it integrally, the work is done. What is necessary is that one part of the being, indeed the central will, says it with conviction. I want only you, even once, and it suffices. All that takes more or less long, sometimes it stretches over years, but one reaches the goal. Our Divine Mother says, when you come to the integral yoga, you must be ready to have all your mental buildings, all your vital scaffoldings shattered to pieces. You must be prepared to be suspended in the air without nothing to support you except your faith. You will have to forget your past self and its clingings altogether, to pluck it out of your consciousness and be born anew, free from any kind of bondage. Think not of what you were, but of what you aspire to be. Be altogether in what you want to realize. Turn from your dead past and look straight towards the future. Your religion, your country, your family lie there. It is the divine, says our Divine Mother.